I've played Super Mario RPG on the Nintendo Switch for over 10 hours, a revolutionary adventure nearly 30 years ago that still surprises us today, and we're gonna tell you why. If you're accustomed to games like Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Super Mario RPG will seem like a game from another universe, and it really is because it's very likely you'll find it a strange and even incoherent experience for the world of Super Mario. Super Mario RPG is a traditional single-player role-playing game with a character similar to classic games like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. Both franchises belong to Square Enix, so it won't surprise you that this company, not directly Nintendo, created Super Mario RPG. With this, you can already get an idea that you won't find the classic Super Mario jumping around and saving princesses from castles. The story of Super Mario RPG goes much further. Princess Peach is relaxing among the flowers in front of Mario's house when she's suddenly kidnapped by Bowser. Of course, Super Mario goes after Peach with the aim of saving her and manages to defeat Bowser. But at that moment, a much worse enemy appears and blows everyone away. Exor is a giant sword that takes over Bowser's castle, kidnaps the princess, and serves as the main antagonist in Super Mario RPG. So the story changes quite a bit compared to Super Mario games, right? Well, get ready because this is just the beginning. During this strange adventure, Mario will meet characters like Mallow or
Gino,
who will join his cause to help him fight against this new threat to the Mushroom Kingdom. Everything has this amazing humorous tone to it that reminds me a lot of the Paper Mario saga. It's not even necessary for the characters to say a word to provoke a smile, or if you have an easy laugh, directly a guffaw. And it achieves all this without losing the charm and family-friendly character of Super Mario, a game revived with Nintendo's magic. It's definitely worth noting that this humor remains somehow fresh, considering the origins of Super Mario RPG. This new Nintendo Switch game is a remake of the classic Super Mario RPG that arrived on Super Nintendo in 1996, and which you can now play on Super Nintendo Mini. Not a single detail has been changed, and yet it feels constantly fun and hilarious. The goal of this revision has been to update a classic that delighted players. Despite being nearly 30 years old, players remember this adventure as one of the best Super Mario games, so Nintendo's worked its magic to update it for a bunch of new players to enjoy better than ever. Extreme care has been taken to ensure the animations, enemies, difficulty, or environments all look very similar to the original version, but of course making it more eye-catching and using an artistic style that fans will recognize instantly. Mario and the characters do look like small deformed toys moving through a model. The top-down view makes the game feel as if you're looking at a small miniature world, and it looks really good when you play it in portable mode. Now for sure, the title of this game gave you a clue about how it works. Super Mario RPG is a traditional role-playing game with turn-based battles in which the players must select what moves and actions the protagonist should make and thus devise strategies to defeat the enemies. Now, this distances it enormously from the platforming games of Super Mario, but a lot of effort has been put into adding mechanics that make the game more dynamic. And although it doesn't feel like a platforming game at all, they challenge your reflexes and give you some freedom to make the adventure more dynamic. As Mario walks through the game world, he can jump, talk to other characters, or investigate the scenario in search of secrets, materials, and other useful items. This part of the gameplay is quite different from JRPG games, being dedicated to the fans of Super Mario platformers, so they don't feel completely out of water. The world of Super Mario RPG is divided into levels, like a normal Super Mario Bros. Game, but unlike the typical Super Mario game, the world is open, and in each level there will be a story or development to complete, and that could be anything from talking to certain characters, defeating some enemies, or obtaining some hidden item. This makes it, unlike other RPGs, hard to lose your objective and get stuck at certain points in the development. As the story progresses, you'll encounter enemies in the world that you must defeat. In these turn-based battles, you'll have to choose whether to perform a basic attack, a technique that spends flower points, defend yourself, or use recovery items. The best of Super Mario RPG, and why even its battles are more dynamic dynamic is that players must press some buttons at exact moments to deal more damage or protect themselves. The difference between doing it and not doing it is massive, so it's not a mechanic that can go unnoticed. The battles become more fun and entertaining thanks to this, and will always give you a desire to outdo yourself. Super Mario RPG on Nintendo Switch has added some new mechanics that even foster this feeling of overcoming for the player, such as chaining perfect attacks and defenses to obtain rewards. In general, the game feels fast and fluid. The transitions into battles are super quick, so you won't be lazy to fight enemies on occasion. Honestly, I think it's great news that subtle facilities have been added to Super Mario RPG to make it more accessible to new players. In addition to all the additions, there's also the possibility to choose an easier difficulty level, so with it, no player will have trouble enjoying a great adventure that is now within everyone's reach. Keeping Super Mario RPG so true to the original has been a double-edged sword. It's surprisingly respectful of how the Super NES game was. It has widely exceeded our expectations, at least in that sense, and the best part is that it doesn't feel like an old game, nor like a new game, however, and it is especially noticeable in the graphic style that does not stand out among the Nintendo Switch catalog, but is still very pleasant. New players may go a bit crazy seeing some impossible actions of Super Mario that look strange with the new aspect of Super Mario RPG, but if you look back, you'll see that Nintendo and Square Enix have copied millimeter for millimeter with immense affection every part of the original game. A remake very true to the original. It does clash quite a bit with what we've previously seen in other Nintendo remakes like Zelda Link's Awakening. In that case, there was more of a general reimagining made about how the game should be. Super Mario RPG went with a much truer representation of the original idea that Super Nintendo couldn't offer, but that Nintendo Switch does without problems. Fortunately, some details have been added so that, without losing its original essence, it feels a bit fresher and the rough parts of the gameplay have become smoother. Super Mario RPG is going to surprise you. It doesn't matter if you're an experienced player or only play occasionally, Nintendo and Square Enix have put extraordinary affection into bringing this peculiar game back to life after nearly 30 years gone. With superb taste and a style that'll make you smile, finding this strange world of Super Mario, especially coming from games like Super Mario Bros. Wonder, can absolutely blow your mind, and yet it feels pleasant, different, and exciting. Best of all is that the gameplay system's fun, addictive, and dynamic, even for players of Mario platforming games. And this, for an adventure with so many years behind it, is quite an achievement. Okay, so are you gonna check out the remake of Super Mario RPG for Nintendo Switch? Let us know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss out on the latest news and advances of Super Mario games. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.